Welcome back to another Workshop Wednesday. We're so excited to be back here every Wednesday. Same time, same place, with giving you tips, tricks, motivation, education to grow your staging, redesign, or real estate business. Welcome back, Jennifer.
Hello, hello.
We are going to talk through yet another one of our HSRA member resources. And this one, I printed out the form like I did last week as well. All of our HSRA members, they have what we call a training center. And so they literally can just log into their training center and get whatever trainings they need for their business and for their staff. And one thing that's happening right now in a lot of businesses, they're experiencing exponential growth because of the real estate market. So they need to bring people on into their company. And so we're going to talk today through top office administrator superstars, job descriptions. And if you go to myhsra.com, Jennifer's going to switch it up real quick, myhsra.com, and you click on schedule a discovery call. When we get that information, we are going to email you this job description. So if you're looking for a client care coordinator, we're going to email this to you and you will have that to go ahead and put your ads out. So, all right, Jennifer, how important is the client care coordinator in a staging company?
Very important. I think that Jana refers to this position as the control tower of your staging business. Basically, they are the one that is making sure that all the pieces of the puzzle are put together, stay together. They are your kind of gap of communication between your office staff and your field staff. They are the ones reaching out to the client, making sure that all the door codes are correct, making sure that the calendar is accurate, making sure that all of the information that came in from the job gets translated to the staging team so that they know what pieces to pull, they know what rooms they're staging. So many different things that this person is going to have their hands in on a daily basis. And there are a lot of bolt-on tasks or positions that you can also provide to this person depending on their skill set. So there's a lot of ways that this person can help with both your staging and production, or your staging and operations team, as well as sales, marketing, and production.
Yes, amazing. And so today I just wanted to give you an overview, or give all of you an overview of what to look for in this position. Obviously give you the tools by giving you this actual job description that you can literally copy and paste into an ad looking for, and obviously tweak it to the things that you may specifically need in your company. But, if you're in a position right now in your staging company where it's only been you forever, this is your great first hire, because this is going to take the phones off of you, and, it will enable you to do more with a second set of hands without having to have the logistics team yet and all of that good stuff. And so it's great. It's always like a catch-22. Who do I hire first? I know all of our members ask us that, who should I hire next? And it really is, what do you need? What is the main thing that you need to do? Because if you're a stager or a business owner and you're out staging houses and you're not answering the phone, you're missing sales. And so let's kind of walk through what identifying the main roles of just the office admin is. So, just off the top of my head, being employed for 40 years, well, not 40 years because I'm 46. So haven't been working since I was 6, but let's say 30 years, 25 years. So obviously they need to have a great phone voice, right? They need to not be intimidated by answering the phone. They can't be afraid of the phones, right? And so they need to be able to interact not only on the phone, but they also need to be able to interact in person if somebody happens to walk into your facility, your warehouse, whatever little office area that you have. And so they need to be professional. They need to look professional, even if nobody ever comes into the office. One of our fun things that we've taught in our sales training for stagers is to have a mirror on your desk And when you're on the phone, smile while you're talking. You may think it's crazy. You may feel crazy, right? Like, welcome, or, thank you for calling Model My Home. I'm here to serve you, or whatever your pitch is when you answer the phone. You do it with a smile. Thanks for calling Model My Home. We're here to assist you, versus thanks for calling Model My Home. We're here to assist you. Like, literally, right? So you want to make sure that they have a presence, a phone presence, that people come in, they're professional, they're excited to be at work. And then do they know, have you trained them on how to direct the calls? If you're directing them, 9 times out of 10, I want to say this position, they're going to actually take the phone calls right when it comes in. And so, Jennifer, when you're taking the phone call, what are some things that they need to know about the company upon taking a phone call from a potential client?
Well, first they need to know some of the basic information about who your company is and what your services are. This is going to be a fielding kind of position, but they should be at least able to qualify the lead, get an idea of who it is that they're talking to. Is it a realtor? Is it a seller? Is it somebody that's done business with the company before, or is this a new lead that's coming in? And the best thing to do is provide them with the sales scripts that your sales team uses. That way they have information at hand if they needed to answer a quick question. But their job is really to gather information. So you want to make sure that they know that every single call that comes in, they need to get that person's name, their email, their phone number, how they heard about you, whatever information that they can gather that they can then pass on to your sales staff. And this may be the person that is wearing multiple hats, and they're the client care person as well as the salesperson. But in a best case scenario, you have one person that's almost the reception area or whatever. They're taking everything that comes in and they're gathering data. And then they're communicating to that person, okay, awesome. I hear you saying that you have this house on this street and you need this service. I'm going to make sure that we get you a quote within 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever would be reasonable for your company. And then they're also going to follow up with an email to say, it was such a pleasure to speak with you today. Just wanting to make sure that we will be getting back with you. In the meantime, here's a link to our website. Go ahead and go check us out. And then if you have any more questions, we can help you too. But they are a data gatherer at that point. So the biggest thing is they know, don't let that phone call end without knowing that person's name, phone number, and email so that you can follow up with them.
Yeah, and give me a thumbs up in the comments if you've ever called anywhere and the first thing they say to you is, obviously they ask your name and then they'll say, Laurie, can I get your phone number in case we get disconnected? It's not in case we get disconnected, people. It's so that they can have your phone number to call you back to get the sale. So think about that. How many times have you called somewhere and you think, oh, that's so nice, they're going to call me back? Yeah, because they're good salespeople. And FYI, a client coordinator is also a good salesperson. And so there's tons of things that you just shared that I was like, oh, I want to tell them about scripts and I want to tell them on what the script should say and how it should be outlined. But guess what? That's not today's topic. And we actually have a mastermind coming up about that. And that's our sales mastermind in Las Vegas. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have all of that good stuff. But also, one thing that reminded me when I was in the office a few years ago before I worked from home is we have a large staff, probably like 15, 20 people in Jana's staging company. And I think it's also, if you are that staging business owner, it's very important to designate a single person to be the greeter. So everybody's bogged down. They're in their computers, they're working, they're doing all of this stuff, and somebody walks in, whether it's a mailman, it's a delivery, it's a customer who just saw your sign on the building. I was like, hey, I wonder what they are. You need to have that dedicated person that owns it, because you never want to have a bad first impression when somebody walks into your business. And so make sure that you have that client care coordinator. They should be a very caring lovable person. And so that should be the person that is jumping up to greet anyone that actually physically walks in. And so also that client coordinator needs to know how to do basic office paperwork. So most people are keeping their files on the computers now, but there is time when you might be printing out stuff, filing stuff. They need to know how to, for the love. Why do I feel like this is not a thing anymore, but alphabetize? When was the last time, Jennifer, that you had to alphabetize something and then you get in the letters that are all the like first two letters are the same, and then you're like, oh, okay, do I go to the third letter? Even just the most simplest thing. I feel like the younger kids nowadays are not doing that.
No, I actually was just trying to think. I think it's been at least 4 or 5 years since I've done any kind of physical filing. So yeah.
But they need to know that. What if it's receipts? What if it's invoices that the staff is submitting, or reimbursements or whatever? They need to have the basic knowledge of administration, clerical, and what is that? That's anything from filing, organizing paperwork, organizing lists. Maybe they're in charge of ordering the supplies for the office. They need to know all of those things in addition to taking those phone calls. And then they also need to know, how is the staging job processed, right? We get the phone call, it comes in, we take all the information from HSRA's amazing sales script that you got from our upcoming mastermind. You got that. Then what's the next step? What do they do with that? They need to know your process from A to Z. They need to know what players are responsible for what positions in the staging business. So if they're taking the order, they're getting the bid, they got the contract signed, what do they do after the contract? So that's a very important part of bringing in your client care coordinator, because if they just send the information and never follow up, then how does the work get done? And then once it's, if they get the contract back signed, but they never give it to the next person, then how does the stage get pulled, right? So I know that a lot of this seems very elementary, but there is somebody out there that's going to watch this, is like, okay, what are all the things I need? Because here's what you need to know. Anytime you're bringing on staff, you have to have written and real processes. One of the main things that I hear from staging business owners when they need to grow team or grow just period, they do not want to take the time to write the policies and procedures. They just want to bring the person in, and we all do it. You know, most staging companies, when they first start, if you breathe, you're in, right? Like, just come help us. However, you cannot build this employee up, hold this employee accountable if you don't have a written procedure, right? There's nothing to bounce it off of. So you want to make sure that when you're bringing on this rock star client care coordinator, that they know all of the things. And that includes who do you pass the ball to next? After the contract's been signed, the money's in, all of that good stuff. They also need to be pretty much computer savvy. I'm thinking of all the different programs that we use on a day-to-day basis. I don't know, Jennifer, if you can like name off a few that, you know, Model My Home uses. We use HubSpot. I don't know how they use Jotforms. Like, what are some of the ones that Model My Home is using?
Definitely HubSpot, Jotform, RingCentral is the system that we use for phones. And that is, you know, call, text, and then also inter-team communication. They need to be able to have some kind of a working knowledge of social media, you know, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, because there may be times where they need to do a live video from the office, or, you know, just something to keep it fresh. But I think that those are huge things. And like you were saying, it's so important for the business owners to know what the process is. What is the A to Z process? What platforms, what products do you have to go to use? And then you're going to know which ones to train that person on, because you're probably going to have they may not need to be in QuickBooks and things. We use QuickBooks for like timekeeping and job costing. We work with JSJ consultants, and that's super helpful because that helps us to know what our true profitability was from each individual job from a labor cost standpoint. And so they're going to need to know how to maneuver through some type of a timekeeping app, more than likely. And then also working within Google Drive or wherever it is that you house all of your documents. They need to have some kind of a working knowledge of a word processing system, a spreadsheet system, those types of things, so that they're able to prepare reports and be ready to share stats and everything else. Even if they're not dealing with a lot of the sales, they are dealing with a lot of your client care. They need to be able to report metrics within HubSpot, having the ability to do email campaigns and things like that. They may not be having a big hand in marketing, but they may send out some, reminders to clients or things like that. Trello is one of the project management boards that we use within Model My Home. So that helps them kind of stay on task and gives them reminders whenever they need to contact a client. So lots of different things that they're going to need to know. But really, I mean, if they have a good basic standard knowledge of how to maneuver through a computer, most people can learn platforms. Just make sure that you as the business owner have a pretty good understanding of how that platform works and what your expectations are. That way you can communicate it to that employee as well.
Yeah, so good. And then the next thing that they need to be in charge of, like Jennifer said, this person, they are the staging traffic controller. I feel like it, right? Like an air traffic controller, right? They need to be able to make sure that the office is staying clean and organized, right? So they're the admin, they're clerical, they're making sure things are organized. Does this mean that they have to clean the office? No, everybody has a hand in cleaning the office because everyone has a hand in messing up the office, right? And so I know that when I was in office at Model My Home, we all had specific chores, I guess you would call them, that we would do. And at the end of the night, we would never leave our desks messy or disheveled. We would always come in the morning. Everything would be nice and clean. Somebody would be responsible for turning on the music and lighting the candles and, rotation on dishes, or, we would have signs, hello, do your own dishes. But there'd be somebody responsible to put the sign on the refrigerator that says, if your food's not out of here by Friday, it's getting dumped. Like whatever those things are that keep the office running smoothly, looks good, all of those, they need to coordinate those, right? So a lot of times, they're like, well, I don't want to clean the office. Well, it's not that you're cleaning the office. It's that you're making sure the office stays clean, whatever that looks like, right? And then also just helping communicate with the team, I think, is really important. So they really do need to know all of the things, where the job funnel, how it goes through, if there's any updates, because when the team is in the field, whether it's the stager or the logistics team is in the field, and the realtor calls and says there's been an emergency on the house that they're going to stage in the afternoon, who's going to be responsible for telling the team that they're not going there that day, right? So they have to, like Jennifer said, knowing the social media platforms like Slack, they need to get on Slack and update the team. If there's some crazy weather that they learn about, because Model My Home is in Texas and they have very crazy weather. A tornado might just pop up at any moment. You just don't even know. It could be 100 degrees and in 5 minutes, a tornado pops up, goes away, comes back, whatever, because it's Texas and it likes to do that. They need to be able to be on alert with the team. So, and then also coordinating educational classes. So if you are a staging business owner and you're not currently teaching CE classes, you're missing out on a whole opportunity for marketing. And lucky enough, HSRA can help you with that as well. We can get you certified. We have the classes already approved in every state. So you can reach out to us there as well. Or you can go to staginginstructors.com. That's who does the paperwork for you on our behalf. And so they have to be scheduling out these classes. And if you have, like Model My Home has, if you have a facility that can host people, you need to be hosting them there. Talk with the title. Here in California, we do escrow and title. Some people just do title. Some states just do title. But if our staging company was here in California, you better bet I'm going into every single escrow office I can and say, hey, I have a space to host CE classes. Do you want to get together? They'll pay for whatever, maybe lunch or whatever. They'll give, let the realtors know that there's going to be a CE course there. And so you need to be using your facility for that. And your client care coordinator needs to be on the ball. So when the phone's not ringing and they're not actually making phone calls out to schedule stages, they need to be making phone calls to the title companies and scheduling these CE classes for you to bring that in. Does two things. One, it puts you in front of realtors. Two, it makes you the expert in your industry. And if you're not currently doing that, then you need to go to our marketing mastermind that we have coming up. So that's very important. Everything ties into something we're doing because we're here to build businesses and leaders. So everything's everything. All right. And then also your client care coordinator should be, I wouldn't say that this is a definite, but it's very helpful if they are good at marketing materials, building stuff in Canva. I mean, Canva over the last 5 years has made it so easy. Literally anyone, even if they don't have an eye for design, can pull a template from Canva and build something, right? So they also need to be able to do that. What you can do as the business owner, if you have a smaller company, is set templates, and then they can go in and update them. If you're out staging because you want, you're the business owner and you're not there with a whole staging team yet, you're staging, take pictures, send it to your client care coordinator. He or she can go into Canva, build some templates, post it on social media, and there you go. And so that's pretty much, I think, the list. Do you think I forgot anything, Jennifer, for the client care coordinator?
Not really. I mean, I think that the biggest thing that I would stress is what you have already covered on the business owners knowing their processes and the importance of having all of that in writing and having it accessible for anybody that were to come in and help. Because if you have a right-hand person, your client care coordinator that's running the office and doing all of these different things, but for some reason they're out of the office and they can't be there, you don't want your business to skip a beat. So if somebody had to step in and help out in that position, or if you had turnover and you had to bring someone in, you needed them to be able to ramp up really fast, they're not going to be able to really do that if you don't have things in writing. We're talking about filing systems and things like that. Well, does that client care coordinator know how your company wants to file? Do they know what documents to file, what things you find important? Every company is going to be different, right? Every business runs differently. And what one company wants to keep and file, another may not. So you just have to know your business. You have to have it all in writing, have it documented. And we are huge proponents of having video training as well as written training, because everybody kind of learns a little bit differently, retains information differently. And it's always nice to be able to have somebody walking you through, and you can literally on Zoom or any of these platforms, you can literally do the task and take them step by step through the task on a video where they're able to reference that. And then they're not having to call you when they get stuck at some point in the process and say, I don't remember how you did that. You can refer them back to the video or to the written process. So having that set up, like you said, it seems mundane, it seems elementary, but it is going to save you so much time and headache down the road if you just go ahead and get it done. Even if you're not ready to hire this position yet, you need to document all of your steps so you're ready when you do.
Yeah, so good. And like I said, if you go to myhsra.com and you click on schedule a discovery call, we will actually send you this listing. You can just copy and paste it when you put out your ad for a client care coordinator. And for those of you that are HSRA members and you're like, hey, like, where is this? Because we have over 150 modules on our training center. I'm going to try something new today, Jennifer. It's a new day. I'm just going to try something we haven't done before. I'm going to try to share screen. I don't think we've ever done it on this platform on Zoom. No problem. So I'm just going to show our members really quick. Let's see if it'll let me. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. I don't think it'll let me share. Dang it. Well, I was going to share it with you, but I have to go in and change my settings on my system preferences. But if you go into the training center and you click on your Essentials membership under Office Admin, it's the first module right there. If you want to go ahead and just download the resource for yourself, because I know since the real estate shift has happened, everyone is super busy. But don't allow you being busy to not get the help you need, right? Because this is what we hear all the time. In fact, I reached out to one of our members today just to remind them that they're awesome and amazing. And they said, thanks, I needed that reminder. It's crazy right now. So I'm like, yeah, I know it's crazy. 2 months ago, we were all living in fear. Well, we weren't, not Model My Home, but a lot of stagers were living in fear because they didn't know if they were even going to be able to stage, or was staging obsolete. No, it's not. Isn't your phone ringing right now? You might not even be watching this live because you're out staging. You might be watching it later. So we're here for you guys. We want to help grow your businesses. We do have a goal to take 1,000 staging businesses to be 6- and 7-figure businesses or companies, I guess. And so that's why we exist. That's why we're coming on every week, sharing resources for you, giving you free resources. Just go to myhsra.com. We do have some events coming up. We also have membership that our members get this stuff for free. They have 150 of these for free to build their staging companies. And so we would love to do that for you. We would love to support you, help you. I would love to send you a text message randomly just to say, hey, you're awesome. I was thinking about you. How's the business? Don't quit. Keep going. You got this. Let me know if I can help you. So in order to do that, I need you to come join our membership. Go to myhsra.com. We're here to help. So any last minute encouragement for those, Jennifer, who are drowning right now and need help?
You can do it. You can do it. And it's funny because I think about, as we do these trainings, I have literally sat in the seat of every position, minus staging and logistics. I have not sat in that seat, but I did go on several like day in the life to kind of have an understanding of it. But I've been the client care coordinator. I've been the marketing person. I've been the salesperson. I've been the production director. I've been all these different things within the staging company. And I understand how how it's trial by fire a lot of times. And there was a point in Model My Home where it was just me and Steven, and we were doing all the things. So you may be wearing all the hats. You may have a huge team that's taking care of all of these things for you. But either way, as long as you guys are communicating well, you're working together, and you have a unified mission, vision, core values, goals, go back to the basics and find your why. Remind yourself why you're scrambling, why you're doing all these things. And if you are super busy, rejoice in being busy, and just make sure that you are doing what you can. But this is why we stress processes and procedures, so that when things go crazy and you have so much work coming in that it's hard to manage if you don't have all of these things in place. So take the time now. If you are a little bit slower, make sure that you get all of these things in place, ready to go, so that when the busy hits you, you're not going to miss a beat.
Yeah. You guys, guess what? When you're an HSRA member, you have access to her. That's why Jennifer is our staging business advisor, because she sat in every seat. She understands. She also has an amazing business mind just in general, and she's a fabulous communicator and educator. And that's why she is our staging business advisor. And she meets with our members once a month. That's amazing. That's worth the membership fee in itself. So don't miss out. Know that you have someone supporting the industry. schedule that discovery call, get your free listing here, stay tuned in, put comments in. The number one way that you're going to grow in any way is reaching out and communicating, asking the questions. Just keep doing it. Don't let this busy, crazy season right now drown you. Know that you have a life vest. That's HSRA. So we're here to see you succeed. So we will be back next week with another fun topic and fun resource for you. So stay tuned and we will see you next week. Thanks, Jennifer.